New Year. It's only February.
Remember us?
We're back with a January favorites video. Want to go first?
Sure. I have
so many.
I have so many. This is not just favorites for January because we actually didn't do much in November, December. Anyway, so this is like a kind of a combination of all of those months into one. I'm going to start with body care, and funnily enough, this is one you probably never thought you'd see from me, but it's a sunscreen. So this is the Australian Gold SPF 15 spray gel with bronzer, which is brilliant for pale girls like me. And it smells utterly delicious. Do you remember that one?
SPF 15 is a bit naughty.
No, okay, so with my skin, I never burnt, not even close, not once. Oh. It was unbelievable. Over the holidays, I thought, you know what, I'm so tired of being pale, I'm going to put my poor body into the sun for a little while. So every day I lay in the sun for an hour to 2 hours, and all I had on was this, and I developed the most beautiful colour. It's all faded now, sadly, because I'm back to being an office wench. But after 2 weeks, I was like several shades darker than this. I never even remotely burnt. My skin felt great. It smells delicious. It reapplies really well, so it doesn't get like tacky and like, you know, sometimes when you reapply sunscreen it's just minging. But this is really, honestly,
where do you get
brilliant.
That brand?
Clicks.
Oh really?
Yeah. And it's like the same price point as Pisbuin and that kind of thing. Yeah. It's like $2.80 or whatever. So it's pretty pricey, but totally worth it. Then I've been using this too to keep things going and topping up the tan. So the Clarins self-tanning milky lotion, you know, it's a favourite of ours, and
so good.
It is so
Never gets old.
Never gets old. And even today, you were like, oh, your leg's brown.
Totally.
That's because it is. Last body care one. This is from Glossier, and this is Body Hero. I bought this when I went to Paris in November. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's got that orange blossom smell, which I love, and it's also got little shimmery bits in it, but not in a gross way, that just leave a really subtle shimmer all over the skin, and it's amazing. I think it's my most loved body product for a really long time. It's delish. I'm not, Glossier as a brand doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest, but this, really good. I would definitely repurchase this.
Okay, at the end of November we went to Joburg and we popped into a shop in Sandton called Skins Cosmetics. Amazing! If you live in Joburg, check it out. Full of incredible international brands by Terry, RMS.
Oh my gosh, all of
Diptyque,
them. Le Labo, Laura Mercier,
Atelier Cologne.
Yeah,
it's
incredible.
Delicious. So we actually both landed up buying the same fragrance. We spent a lot of time in the Diptyque section, which is very generous in that shop, smelling everything, smelled some real classics, and I don't know, nothing was really working for me. Then I picked up this one, which I had never heard of. It's called Tam Dao. And it's one of those fragrances, this is going to sound weird, that smells like nothing. So what it smells,
the base is spicy.
It's got, but it smells, don't you think, like the best version of skin.
I do. I also bought it and I wear it every day.
Clean and warm and
so good.
It's really, it's comforting.
Yeah,
like it makes me feel good when I wear it. It's so beautiful. It's very subtle. It's gorgeous though, and I've worn this almost every single day for the past couple of months, and I'm such a big fan. And I've never heard anyone talk about this particular fragrance.
Tori has it.
Does she?
Yes.
No, since we before we bought it.
Before we bought it. She was like,
God, that's hilarious.
I was like, makes
sense. That is so fun. Never heard. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, so big fan of that. Love that stuff. And by the way, the price of that perfume in Skins Cosmetics is within 100 Rand of the UK price, so you don't gain anything by getting it overseas. It's actually the same price here.
This is one of the new dry shampoos from Diptyque. This is it's like a lighter version, so it's called their Natural and Light Bare. I really like this. It's not one of the coloured ones, so it's just like a white spray. So for brunettes you do have to massage it in a little bit, but I really prefer it to the original because it's not as irritating for my scalp. And I think it does actually a better job. I've got
it in my hair today. Yeah.
I love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So if you use Batiste out of necessity, but you've never found one that you actually really adore, just give this one a try because I think that you will really like it. I've been a complete convert. I won't buy any of the others now except for this one. It's lovely.
The white cast also is definitely less.
It's much less. Yeah, it's not as like powdery and heavy. It's much lighter, almost more like collab. It's almost like a bit more translucent. Don't know if you guys have heard in Cape Town we have a drought, so in an effort to save water, I've decided to switch to a leave-in conditioner because rinsing conditioner out just takes too much water. So this is the one from Kerastase, and it's their anti-breakage blow dry treatment. So I just apply it through towel dried hair, and then I blow dry my hair as normal. It's got protein bonds in it to help strengthen the hair, which I need because I coloured the ends of my hair towards the end of last year, and I can definitely feel and see a lot more breakage. It's just a bit more. Oh dear. Normally they warn you first.
Ooh.
Yummy, eh?
Yum.
Yeah, and so...
I actually love Kerastase.
I do as well. I keep forgetting...
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a reliable brand.
Anyway, so I feel like it feels good, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Your hair is... Feel my... It's like crispy.
Yeah, sorry. You need this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you're... It was expensive. I think it was 435 Rand. But it doubles as a kind of blow dry, like a treatment and a conditioner, and I can justify it till the cows come home. And it smells delicious.
2-in-1.
Yeah, so I'm very, very happy with that.
So I was away for a month after Christmas and the beginning of January. We were in the Northern Hemisphere and I was in the snow for most of it. And I was a little bit nervous about my skin barrier because that's something that's been a problem for years for me, and I've only really gotten it right in the last year by having peels and seeing Sally at Cape Aesthetics quite regularly and like just concentrating on getting my barrier 100% again. So I had read a review on a Model Recommends about this product, so I bought it before I went. It is the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm B5. So it's essentially a fairly rich white cream, just looks like that, but it's not sticky or too heavy, and which is, you know, something that's important to me because my skin is a little bit more combination. It's just really nourishing and it's very soothing. So whenever my skin looked like it was flaring up a little from being in the snow or being in the extreme cold temperatures, I would put this on and it worked like a dream. In fact, a friend I was traveling with was having an absolute mare with her barrier as well, and she was using it and it completely sorted it out within a day for her. So
B5 is specifically for inflammation. That's why it's included in this SkinCeuticals Hydrating B5 serum.
It's called a soothing repairing balm, which is fairly accurate. So if you are someone who struggles with that kind of thing, inflammation in the skin, you get cracked around your nose or anything like that, probably more of a winter product to be fair, but if that's you, then give this a shot. It's really, really lovely product. I would imagine completely appropriate for people who don't have sensitive skin as well, because everything from La Roche-Posay is.
This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Volume 3, which Julia gave to me for Christmas. Thanks, Lou. I love the palette generally, but specifically this bronzer has been an absolute favorite. This is the shade Luminous Bronze, I think. Luminous Bronze Light. You guys. It is phenomenal. Is it in that one as well?
Yeah, I keep forgetting about it.
It's the best bronzer I've ever used. It is the perfect tone for my skin, but I think suits so many other skin types as well. I know Tori also loves it. I told her about this, so she went and bought one when she was in the UK now in November. It's got a really nice kind of glow about it, so it's not a matte kind of ruddy bronzer. It's just makes you look super healthy.
Makes your skin look super healthy.
Oh, yeah. It's the best. I will definitely be buying a full-size version. I've already, you can see the others.
Yeah, geez, you made a dent.
It's completely flat.
Amazing.
Anyway, that's really, really gorgeous, and if you have easy access to Hourglass, then I can highly recommend that bronzer.
As you've said before, Hourglass is one of those products that's expensive, but it's
so worth it.
Actually really good value, because it takes ages to get through the pans, and it's so beautiful.
And my Hourglass blush in Mood Exposure, I've almost completely finished it. That's how much I loved it. And then Tori told me about this Charlotte Tilbury blush. So this is the Cheek to Chic blusher in First Love. And basically I know that if Tori likes it, I'm going to love it. So I asked Julia to bring some back for me now when she was overseas. And it's very similar to Mood Exposure. It's that quite muted, understated tone, but very beautifying. And it's a lovely texture. It's also quite luminizing. It has like an illuminating quality to it, but it doesn't have like visible sparkles or glitter or anything. Like you can't really see what it is, but it is
my favorite kind of blush.
It's beautiful. It's really, really lovely. I highly recommend it. So also, if I could buy from only one brand forever, it would probably be Charlotte Tilbury.
You're such a Charlotte Tilbury girl.
I love it. And so this is really, really gorgeous.
Speaking of bronzers, it's about time this made it into a favorites video, because I've had this for a year and I've been using it religiously, and I've never mentioned it because it's so hard to get hold of. But now it's launched in South Africa. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So if you are a reader of international beauty blogs, you have almost certainly heard of this. It is kind of a drugstore classic. Until now, it's only been available in the US, as far as I know.
Gosh, it is very fragrant. I can smell it from here.
It smells like coconuts, which I do not care for. I mean, I love coconut, don't get me wrong, but I just don't understand why makeup must smell like it. And it's quite strong, and it lingers on the skin for a couple of minutes. It does dissipate after a couple of minutes, but like, you know, I would smell it. And if it's offensive to you, then maybe it's not the right thing. This is the shade Bronzer. It comes in 4 shades in total, but 2 of them are available in this country. I think it's Bronzer and Light Bronzer. It's just such a beautiful, matte, creamy, natural looking bronzer. It's the ideal tone for me It's sheer, so it's very buildable. So if you are someone who likes that, you know, again,
very sheer, yeah.
If you're someone who likes very light makeup, it's ideal. You can't be too heavy-handed with it. It's really, really lovely. Such a gorgeous product. It was in my top 5 products of 2017. Like I said, I can't believe I hadn't mentioned it until then, because I have literally used it every single week since I bought it at the end of 2016. So amazing product, highly recommend. It's at selected discount stores. I think it's around the 200 Rand mark. Really big pan though, will last you for ages, so go check it out.
Another one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Legendary Brows Eyebrow Gel, whatever it's called, with the teeny tiniest little one that you've ever seen. It's like
I can't believe no one has copied that yet.
I know, it's bizarre.
It's really good.
As you know, I love and am usually faithful to the Maybelline Brow Precise, the Maybelline one that I've been raving about. But my friend Nikki loves this, and I used it on her for her wedding, and so I asked Julia to also bring me back one of these, and you guys, it just deposits a perfect amount of colour onto the brow. The texture is grippy enough that everything stays in place, but it doesn't look crunchy. It just looks really, really natural, and I think it's brilliant, and like I just so much joy to use. It's so little, like perfect. It's just perfect.
Teeny. Really good for people like us who have very fair brows.
Yes.
As in, like, the hair itself is very fine.
Yeah, there's hardly anything going on there. Is it much better than Maybelline? No, but it's just a nice luxury little treat to use, and when I run out of it, I'll be sad and I'll go back to Maybelline and everything will be fine. But it's
my only criticism of that product is that I find, because the brush is so small, I struggle to get product onto it. So I find myself like digging in, and I haven't used a lot of it. It's not like it's empty. Kind of dig into it to get the product onto the wand to get it onto my brows.
I don't find that
struggle a little bit. But I've said it before, brow gels really are wasted on me because I honestly have no brows to gel. So another thing I bought in the UK, and I assume it's gonna launch in South Africa imminently. This is the Maybelline Total Temptation Mascara. Another product that smells of coconuts, which I don't understand. It's very synthetic. Yeah, it's really not a good smell. Anyway, this is a sensational mascara. It's so good. It's got a lovely natural bristle, kind of bushy brush, and super jet black on the lashes. I'm wearing it today. You'll see it in my haul next week as well. Only takes a couple of coats to build up. It really plumps up the lashes and makes them look kind of thick and borderline spiky, but like in a good way. It's such a good mascara. I love it. It transfers a tiny bit onto my upper brow bone if I'm not wearing any eyeshadow, to kind of stop the mascara touching the oils in my skin. That's essentially what causes the transfer. But my lashes are quite long, and that's something I have with a lot of mascaras. So on the scale of mascaras that smudge on me, this is very much on the lower end of that scale. So something I'm completely prepared to put up with. I think this is absolute killer. This for me is my number 2 for mascara. Max Factor False Lash Effect being number 1. False Lash Effect is much more defining. This is much more like messy lash, if that makes sense. There's something very perfect about False Lash Effect.
I know what you mean.
This is like, you get a lot of lash going on. Awesome.
Okay, my last favourite is a tool, and this is the Face Shape brush from Zoeva. If you've been watching Lisa Eldridge for the past while, you'll see she uses this all the time, and so I thought, gotta have it. And it's phenomenal. When it arrived, I thought, actually, I don't know if it's really large enough to apply foundation. Like, it's going to take me too long, but I was wrong. It's so good. Like, it just buffs the product in really, really well. I don't need to go over it with a beauty blender to kind of like push everything into the skin. It doesn't leave streak marks. It's the perfect density. It's the perfect texture. It's like soft. It's just a joy to use. You've got one and you never use it.
I know. Well, because same reason. I look at it and I'm like, that's going to take me half an hour to put my foundation on.
No, but it's not. It's just like...
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
It's really, really, really lovely.
So Zoeva do ship to South Africa. Don't ask us about customs. I mean, who knows what the story is with that, but...
They're also on Calpiti.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
you also can get it from Selfridges. But yeah, Zoeva's brushes are amazing.
They're my favourites.
And they're very affordable. Okay, another product that I bought in the UK, but you can order it from ASOS when it's in stock. This is from The Ordinary, and this is the salicylic acid 2% solution. Until recently, well, until they pulled out of the country for some obscure reason, I was using the 2% salicylic acid. This was called the BHA solution from Paula's Choice, which was really, really good. My skin responds very, very well to salicylic acid because it's not an inflammatory acid, and it really cleans out your pores. It's like a little hoover. It goes into the pores and goes... So it's really good for blackheads and any kind of breakouts. and I just find it keeps my skin on a very even keel, and it, like I said, never inflames my skin. So something like glycolic acid is way too strong for me. I get a lot of inflammation from that. So this is my preference, this and lactic acid. I also have the lactic acid version from The Ordinary, but I wanted to mention this because Paula's Choice is no longer available here, and this is £4.50. So if it's something that would interest you, I bought one for my husband because he uses it for any kind of ingrown hairs when he shaves, and I bought it for another friend of mine who used to use the Paula's Choice one. So it's just a knockout product, works so well for me, so affordable, and like I said, you can get it from ASOS when it's in stock. So if you are interested, I would have a look. It's really, really good. Cool, thank you guys for watching. If you have any requests for videos, please leave them below. Send us some love in the comments, and we will see you guys soon. Bye!